The Johnson family had been eagerly anticipating this day. Mason, the youngest, was turning 10, and Sophia and Samuel wanted to make it unforgettable. Sophia, always diligent, had been saving for months to afford a meal at one of the city's finest restaurants. The family spent the entire day preparing. Sophia ironed everyone's best clothes while Samuel made sure their shoes were polished to perfection. The children, Jefferson, William, and Mason, were buzzing with excitement, their laughter echoing through the small house. As they left home, the Johnsons felt a sense of pride and joy. They walked to the restaurant, hand in hand, embodying unity and love. Sophia couldn't help but smile, her heart swelling with happiness as they approached the elegant entrance. Sophia worked tirelessly at the local diner, often pulling double shifts to make ends meet. Despite the long hours and aching feet, she never complained, always focusing on the joy of providing for her family. Saving enough money for tonight's dinner was no small feat. Every penny Sophia set aside was a testament to her dedication and love. She dreamed of giving her children experiences that would broaden their horizons and make them feel special. This dinner was one such occasion, a reward for all their hard work and perseverance. As they were seated, Sophia looked around the restaurant, feeling a mix of pride and nervousness. She wanted everything to be perfect for her family, hoping that this evening would be a cherished memory for years to come. Samuel, Sophia's husband, was equally dedicated. As a manager at an appliance store, he often worked long hours, especially on clearance days. His commitment ensured that the family never lacked the essentials, and he took great pride in his ability to provide. Their children, Jefferson, William, and Mason, were taught the value of hard work from a young age. Jefferson, the oldest, helped around the house, while William was responsible for looking after his younger brother. Mason, full of youthful energy, often assisted his mother at the diner. The Johnsons were a close-knit family, their bonds strengthened by the challenges they faced together. Tonight's dinner was not just a celebration of Mason's birthday, but a testament to their unity and resilience. Upon arriving at the restaurant, the Johnson family was greeted by a courteous hostess who led them to a table in the center of the dining room. The restaurant was filled with the soft murmur of conversations and the clinking of cutlery, creating an ambiance of sophistication. Sophia could barely contain her excitement. She had heard so much about this place and wanted everything to be perfect for her family. As they settled into their seats, she glanced around, admiring the elegant decor and the smiling faces of the diners. However, not everyone shared in their joy. Sophia noticed a table of customers nearby who seemed to be watching them intently. She felt a knot form in her stomach, but chose to ignore it, focusing instead on the happiness of her family. The menu was filled with dishes that Sophia and Samuel had never tried before. They decided to let the children choose their meals, wanting them to enjoy the experience fully. Mason, excited, pointed at a dish with a picture of a fancy steak, and Samuel nodded approvingly. As they placed their order, the family chatted happily. Jefferson talked about his school projects, William shared a funny story from the playground, and Mason beamed with anticipation for his birthday meal. Sophia and Samuel exchanged loving glances, their hearts full. Despite the initial unease, the Johnsons were determined to enjoy their evening. Their laughter and smiles were a stark contrast to the growing tension at the adjacent table, where whispers and side glances hinted at something sinister. As the Johnsons waited for their meal, the customers at the nearby table began to whisper louder. Sophia could hear snippets of their conversation, comments that were increasingly unkind and directed at her family. She felt her joy turning into discomfort. Samuel noticed Sophia's expression and squeezed her hand under the table, trying to reassure her. He whispered, "Ignore them. This is our night." Sophia nodded, but the tension was hard to shake off. The whispers became more frequent, and Sophia felt her anxiety rising. Their joy was beginning to be overshadowed by the unwelcome stares and murmurs. It was clear that the other table's occupants were not pleased with the Johnsons' presence, and their comments were becoming harder to ignore. Sophia tried to focus on her family, but the knot in her stomach grew tighter. The whispers soon turned into audible comments. One of the customers, a middle-aged man with a smug expression, spoke loudly enough for the Johnsons to hear. "Can they even afford this place?" he sneered, looking directly at them. The table erupted in laughter. Sophia's face flushed with embarrassment and anger. She glanced at Samuel, who was clenching his jaw, trying to maintain his composure. The children looked confused and hurt, not understanding why they were being targeted. The joyful atmosphere was quickly dissolving. Samuel took a deep breath, deciding to confront the situation. He stood up, ready to speak, but before he could, the restaurant manager approached the offending table. "Excuse me," the manager said firmly, "we do not tolerate such behavior here. You need to stop, or you will be asked to leave." Samuel sat back down, his anger barely contained. He wanted to protect his family, to stand up against the cruelty they were facing. But he knew causing a scene would only make things worse. He squeezed Sophia's hand again, signaling for her to stay calm. Sophia appreciated Samuel's restraint, though she could see the pain in his eyes. The children, especially Mason, were trying to understand why their celebration was being ruined. Sophia's heart ached as she tried to shield them from the harsh reality of prejudice. The manager's intervention had silenced the offending table, but the damage was done. The Johnsons' evening, meant to be a joyous occasion, was marred by the cruel comments. Yet they resolved to stay strong and not let this ruin Mason's special day. The restaurant manager, a tall man with a kind but stern demeanor, turned his attention to the Johnsons. "I'm terribly sorry for what just happened," he said, his voice filled with genuine regret. "Please know that this behavior is not tolerated here, and we are taking steps to ensure it does not continue." He then did something unexpected. "In light of the incident, your meal tonight is on the house," the manager announced. "We want you to enjoy this special evening without any further concerns." Sophia and Samuel were taken aback by the gesture, their tension easing slightly. The manager's actions restored some of the dignity that had been stripped from the Johnsons. They thanked him sincerely, and as he walked away, they felt a renewed sense of respect and gratitude. The other diners, witnessing the manager's stand, began to applaud, creating a supportive and encouraging atmosphere. With the meal now complimentary, the Johnsons tried to refocus on their celebration. The children, especially Mason, were cheered by the kindness of the manager and the applause from the other diners. It was a small but significant victory in reclaiming their evening. Sophia looked around the table, seeing the smiles return to her children's faces. She was grateful for the manager's intervention, which had not only addressed the immediate issue, but had also set a precedent for others in the restaurant. It was a moment of solidarity and support that meant the world to them. As their food arrived, the Johnsons began to relax again. They enjoyed the delicious dishes, sharing bites and stories, and slowly the joy of the celebration returned. It wasn't just about the free meal. It was about the acknowledgement of their worth and the stand against discrimination. As the family finished their meal, the restaurant staff had one more surprise for them. The manager approached their table again, this time carrying a large birthday cake adorned with candles. The staff followed, singing "Happy Birthday" to Mason. Mason's eyes lit up with excitement. He had not expected such a grand gesture, and his initial discomfort was replaced with pure joy. The entire restaurant joined in the song, creating a beautiful moment of unity and celebration. Sophia and Samuel were moved to tears. The cake was placed in front of Mason, and the staff encouraged him to make a wish. As he blew out the candles, the restaurant erupted in applause once more. This gesture turned what could have been a ruined evening into an unforgettable celebration, filled with love and support. As the family savored the cake, the manager approached them again with another surprise. "There's someone here who wants to see you," he said with a smile. Confused but curious, Sophia and Samuel followed him to the entrance of the restaurant. To their astonishment, they saw Samuel's father, the children's grandfather, stepping out of a car. He lived in another city and had not seen the family for months. The children's eyes widened with delight as they recognized their beloved grandpa. Mason ran to him, wrapping his arms around his grandfather with all his might. The presence of their grandfather added a magical touch to the evening. It was a heartwarming reunion that filled everyone with happiness and made the celebration even more special. The unexpected arrival of Samuel's father turned the evening into a full-blown family reunion. The Johnsons returned to their table with their grandfather, sharing stories and laughter. The initial humiliation felt like a distant memory as joy and love took over. The restaurant patrons watched the family with smiles, moved by the turn of events. The Johnsons' resilience and the manager's kindness had transformed a potentially devastating night into one of the most memorable and heartwarming experiences of their lives. Sophia felt a sense of fulfillment as she saw her family together, happy and united. The challenges they had faced only strengthened their bond. The evening, which had begun with tension and unease, ended with a deep sense of gratitude and togetherness. Just as the family began to feel at ease, another incident occurred. The woman from the offending table, who had earlier insulted them, made a point of walking past their table. She deliberately bumped into Mason and muttered, "Clumsy boy, must be black." The restaurant fell silent, the atmosphere thick with shock and outrage. Sophia felt a surge of protective fury. She pulled Mason close, shielding him from the cruel words. Samuel stood up, his face a mask of anger and sadness, ready to confront the woman. Before he could act, the restaurant manager returned with a stern expression. "That's enough," he said to the woman. "We do not tolerate any form of discrimination here. You and your party need to leave immediately." The woman and her companions, clearly embarrassed, left amid murmurs of disapproval from the other diners. Samuel's anger was palpable as he watched the woman leave. He felt a deep sadness for his family, especially for Mason, who was too young to understand why they were being treated this way. The humiliation and hurt were overwhelming. Sophia, tears streaming down her face, hugged Mason tightly. She tried to soothe him, whispering reassurances that everything would be okay. The other diners began to murmur among themselves, some expressing shock, others showing their support for the Johnsons. The manager, seeing the family's distress, approached again. "I'm truly sorry for this. Please know that we are committed to ensuring such incidents do not happen again. If there's anything else we can do, please let us know." His words, though sincere, could not fully erase the pain caused by the cruel remarks. Sophia felt a mix of anger and sorrow. She looked at Mason, who was visibly shaken, and her heart ached for her son. She knew that such incidents could leave lasting scars and was determined to stand up for her family. She turned to Samuel, her voice trembling with indignation. "This can't be left like this, Samuel. They need to understand what they did." Samuel, equally determined, nodded in agreement. Together, they decided to take further action to ensure justice was served. The family finished their meal in a somber silence, the earlier joy overshadowed by the recent incident. Despite the kindness of the manager and the supportive gestures from other diners, the hurt lingered. Sophia knew they had to do something more to address the injustice they had faced. The restaurant manager stood firm in his commitment to uphold the dignity of his establishment. He approached Sophia and Samuel once more, apologizing profusely for the behavior of the offending customers. "We take this very seriously," he said, "and we will not let this slide." Sophia and Samuel appreciated his sincerity, but felt more needed to be done. "We want a public statement," Sophia said, her voice steady despite her emotions. "Not only an apology, but a commitment against any form of discrimination. And we would like you to contribute to an organization that fights against racism." The manager agreed immediately. "Consider it done," he said. "We will also make a donation to a local anti-racism organization. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, and I'm deeply sorry for the pain caused to your family tonight." As the family prepared to leave, an elderly lady from a nearby table approached them. "I want you to know that not everyone thinks like those people," she said kindly. "You are a beautiful family, and you deserve respect and kindness." She placed a small gift on Mason's table and hugged him warmly. Other diners began to approach, offering words of support and small gestures of kindness. Some left notes of encouragement, while others handed small gifts to the children. The Johnsons were overwhelmed by the outpouring of support, feeling a sense of community they had not expected. Sophia and Samuel were moved to tears by the kindness of strangers. They thanked each person who came forward, their hearts lightened by the solidarity and compassion shown to them. Despite the earlier humiliation, the evening ended on a note of hope and unity. Determined not to let the incident go unaddressed, Sophia and Samuel decided to take further action. They took the children and their grandfather home and then headed to the police station to report the incident. They wanted to ensure that such behavior was held accountable. At the police station, they were met with indifference by the officer on duty. "We cannot accept this," Samuel said firmly. "What happened was a crime, and we want it to be treated as such." The officer sighed and reluctantly agreed to register the complaint, though he seemed uninterested in the process. Frustrated but undeterred, Sophia and Samuel left the station. They sought the help of a lawyer specializing in cases of racial discrimination, determined to ensure that justice was served. They also decided to leverage social media to raise awareness about their experience and garner public support. Their visit to the police station was disheartening. The officer on duty showed little interest in their case, treating it as a minor inconvenience rather than a serious issue. Samuel's patience was tested, but he remained firm, insisting that a formal complaint be lodged. The officer eventually complied, but his lack of empathy was evident. Sophia felt a deep frustration, knowing that without proper support, their case might not be taken seriously. They left the station feeling disillusioned but resolute in their determination to seek justice. As they walked out, Sophia turned to Samuel. "We need to find someone who will take this seriously," she said. Samuel agreed, and they decided to seek legal advice. They knew that having a professional advocate would be crucial in ensuring their voices were heard. The indifferent attitude of the police officers was a stark contrast to the support they had received at the restaurant. It was clear that without significant pressure, their complaint might be dismissed. Sophia and Samuel felt the weight of the challenge ahead, but were determined not to give up. They contacted a lawyer known for handling discrimination cases. The lawyer listened attentively to their story and agreed to take on their case. "This is unacceptable," she said. "We will ensure that those responsible are held accountable." With the lawyer's guidance, they began to gather evidence and prepare for the legal battle ahead. They also reached out to local media and community organizations, hoping to amplify their story and create a broader movement against discrimination. Their lawyer, an experienced advocate for civil rights, wasted no time in mobilizing resources. She advised Sophia and Samuel on how to document their experience and gather witness statements. "We need to make sure we have a strong case," she said. "Every detail counts." The lawyer also connected them with community organizations that provided support for victims of racial discrimination. These organizations helped amplify their story, ensuring it reached a wider audience. Sophia and Samuel felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. The legal process was daunting, but with professional guidance, they felt more confident. They knew that standing up against injustice was not only for their family, but for others who might face similar discrimination. Their resolve was strengthened by the support they received from their lawyer and the community. As their story spread on social media, it garnered significant attention and support. People from all over the country expressed their outrage and solidarity with the Johnson family. Hashtags demanding justice for the Johnsons trended, and influential figures spoke out against the discrimination they faced. Public pressure mounted on the police department to take the case seriously. Community leaders organized rallies and events to show support for the Johnsons and to demand accountability. The family was overwhelmed by the positive response and felt empowered to continue their fight. The outpouring of support not only helped to raise awareness, but also put pressure on the authorities to act. The Johnsons' case became a catalyst for a broader conversation about racial discrimination and the need for systemic change. Sophia and Samuel felt a renewed sense of purpose in their pursuit of justice. Under mounting public pressure, the police department was finally forced to take action. The officer who had initially dismissed their complaint was reprimanded, and the case was assigned to a more experienced investigator. The family felt a sense of vindication as the investigation began in earnest. The woman who made the racist comment was identified and prosecuted. The investigation revealed a history of discriminatory behavior, and she faced legal consequences for her actions. The Johnsons felt a sense of justice being served, though the emotional scars remained. Sophia and Samuel were relieved that their efforts had not been in vain. They continued to work with their lawyer and community organizations to ensure that the case received the attention it deserved. The investigation's progress was a testament to the power of collective action and the importance of standing up against injustice. The legal proceedings against the woman who had humiliated the Johnsons sent a strong message. She was found guilty of discrimination and faced significant penalties, including fines and community service. The case received widespread media coverage, highlighting the importance of addressing racial prejudice. The Johnsons felt a sense of closure as justice was served. They knew that while this did not erase the hurt caused, It was a step towards accountability. They hoped that their case would deter others from engaging in similar behavior and inspire more victims to come forward. The restaurant also implemented new policies to prevent such incidents in the future. They introduced mandatory sensitivity training for staff and established a clear protocol for handling discrimination. The Johnsons appreciated these efforts and felt that their experience had led to meaningful change. Through the ordeal, the Johnson family grew even closer. The support they received from each other and from their community reinforced their bonds. They found strength in their unity and resilience, knowing that they had overcome a significant challenge together. Mason, despite his young age, understood the importance of what his family had done. He felt proud of his parents for standing up against injustice and for the support they received from strangers. The experience, though painful, taught him valuable lessons about courage and perseverance. The Johnsons continued to advocate for racial equality, sharing their story to inspire others. They participated in community events and supported initiatives that promoted inclusivity and respect. Their journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the impact of standing up for what is right. Mason, the youngest member of the Johnson family, emerged from the experience with a newfound sense of strength and awareness. He understood the importance of standing up against injustice and felt proud of his family's actions. The incident, though traumatic, became a pivotal moment in his life. As Mason grew older, he carried the lessons learned from that evening with him. He became an advocate for equality and justice, determined to create a world where no one would have to face the discrimination his family endured. His parents' bravery inspired him to be a force for positive change. In school, Mason excelled academically and socially. He was known for his kindness and leadership, often standing up for classmates who faced bullying or prejudice. His experiences shaped him into a compassionate and determined young man, ready to make a difference in the world. With the support of his family and the community, Mason aspired to achieve great things. He set his sights on higher education, determined to use his talents and knowledge to affect change. His family's experience at the restaurant had ignited a passion for justice and equality in him. Mason's hard work paid off when he was accepted into one of the best colleges in the country. His parents were immensely proud, knowing that their struggles had paved the way for his success. Mason's journey was a testament to the power of resilience and determination in the face of adversity. As he prepared for college, Mason knew that he would continue to face challenges. But with the lessons from his past and the support of his family, he was ready to confront any obstacle. He promised himself that he would honor his family's legacy by striving for excellence and fighting for justice. The Johnsons' story resonated with many, inspiring a sense of unity and determination within their community. People came together to support one another, recognizing the importance of standing against discrimination. The family's experience had sparked a movement that emphasized equality and respect. Community leaders organized events and workshops to educate people about the impact of racism and how to combat it. The Johnsons actively participated, sharing their story and encouraging others to speak out against injustice. Their efforts helped to create a more inclusive and compassionate community. The support and solidarity from their community reinforced the Johnsons' belief in the power of collective action. They continued to work towards creating a better future, knowing that their journey had made a significant impact. The bonds formed through this experience were a source of strength and hope for all involved. The Johnsons' experience at the restaurant left a lasting impact on their lives and the lives of those around them. Their story became a symbol of resilience and the importance of standing up against injustice. It highlighted the need for systemic change and inspired others to take action. Sophia and Samuel continued to advocate for equality, working with organizations that promoted social justice. Their efforts helped to raise awareness and create more inclusive environments. They were determined to ensure that no other family would have to endure what they had faced. Mason, Jefferson, and William grew up understanding the importance of their family's actions. They carried the lessons of courage and resilience into their own lives, determined to make a positive difference. The Johnson story was a testament to the enduring power of love, unity, and the fight for justice.